Hello, good evening, and welcome to round 3 of Apex Season 20 GT3. I'm Daniel Zippy Salmon, an up-and-coming producer, experienced commentator, and amateur stand-up comedian. Joining me tonight, a competitor from the real-life track road racing series, Mike Reese. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Mike.
I race with Track Series here up in Nova Scotia. I run a BMW E30 with road racing and such. I've been doing that for 6 years now. Started in a Neon. Anyways, it's been a great season so far, and leading the championship actually. But enough about me. I used to be a musician and all that stuff. But I'm happy to be here. This is my second broadcast doing this with Daniel, and hopefully I'll do a little bit better than the first one. I think I had a good time. I butchered some names, so I'm hoping I don't butcher as many names as I did last time. But looking forward to seeing this race here at the Nürburgring Grand Prix. It's one of my favorite tracks, so should be fun. Should be fun.
Oh, absolutely. It is definitely going to be a lot of fun. I've just realised that I look like I'm sheet paper, so I've got to fix that a little bit later, but that's okay. Let's get on to the schedule. So obviously we already had Watkins Glen, we've had Algarve. I've got to admit, not a track that either of us two are particularly familiar with, and we're on to the Nürburgring. It's not the full ring, it's not the Nordschleife, but it is a Grand Prix track. I'll give you a little bit of information about that. From there, we're going to go into the Daytona International Speedway, the road course, one of my favourites, but then obviously we're in Canada as well, so we'll be at CTMP, a couple of other tracks in there, particularly I'm fond of Road America and VIR as well. As we have a look at the second half of the schedule, Mike, take away the honours. I'm going to scroll this for you if I find my mouse. There you go.
Yeah, sure. Actually, just after Barcelona, we go to the Di Ferrari Grand Prix, and then VIR, like you were saying, which is a fantastic track, and then Circuit of the Americas there, September 1st. And then what did you got there? Yeah, that's where it's ended. So a little track info here. Nürburgring, 150,000 person capacity. Can you imagine? It's completed there in the Nürburg, Germany. Features the Grand Prix track, which is now connected to the Nordschleife, which is absolutely one of my favorite tracks. It should be everyone's favorite track, if you can remember all the corners in that 13 miles or whatever it is. Built in the 1920s around the village there, and medieval castle of Nürburg and the Eifel Mountains. North Loop, 13 miles long, contains 1,000 feet elevation change from its lowest to highest points. Scottish racing driver Jackie Stewart nicknamed the track the Green Hell. However, we are going to be on the Grand Prix today, so we won't be doing the the Nordschleife, and we're gonna go just straight to the grid here once we wrap this up. So looking forward to seeing this race with everybody.
Well, as we have a look at the grid, let me make sure I've got the right overlay. Obviously, I've already got the other one up there. They're just getting ready to grid. I've lost the button. Bear with me a second here. There we go. Let's get rid of that. And let's get up the grid. So, why is it starting there? There we go. Starting at the front of the grid, Matthew Morha, he did a 157.7, followed by DJ Alessandrini. I got to admit, I did expect to see him on the pole. Chad Sanowski, he's there on the second row with Mark Miller in third and fourth. Jordan Musser in fifth, alongside one of your winners last week was Daniel McKelvey in sixth, Neil McDougall in seventh, and then Adrian Adams in eighth. Mike, take it away.
Yeah, ninth place is going to be Philip Adams, and 10th, Troy Banks, 11th, Brian Limk, and 12th, No Guerrero. I'm working on that one. That's a good name. 13th, Ty Johnson. 14th, Kelly Greeno. 15th, Russell Elizondo. And 16th, Austin Sams.
In 17th, you had Kent Big Dog Kruger alongside Tyler Reeb. Christopher Gargano takes 19th alongside Remo Bykov. Bryson Lee in 21st with Chris Tribe in 22nd. Tyler Nevins in 23rd and Mark Bray there in 24th.
Chris Triber in 25th, Brian Zinn in 26th, Daniel Williams 27th, Jameson Cusworth 28th, Frank Klein 29th, and Corey Mitchell in 30th.
Yeah, I'm actually quite surprised to see Corey back there in 30th, but we'll see what happens there. Also noticing a couple of people missing as well. I'm thinking Morgan Smith. I think we've seen a good action of him from the Lamborghini, and Sean Garou as well. Disappointed to see both of these guys not out on the field as it stands. Well, out on the field. What am I talking about? This isn't cricket, Mike. This is racing.
Well, it's good to see the current points leader, Daniel McKelvey, up in the top 10 on that qualify. So it'll be interesting to see if he can make his way up through the pack on this first lap. The first laps are always the sketchiest. So boys and girls, please bring it home. You got to finish to win it. So looks like our safety car is moving out. and we're going to get to green here soon. So
Oh, it's definitely quite a packed field. I can already see 30 cars on the field. But don't get me wrong, we'll see just how many are left after we get across the start-finish line. These guys are definitely getting a little bit cleaner, and I do believe it seems a little bit quiet on the sound side. I'm just going to make sure that I've got all the boxes ticked here. I'm trying to. My mouse keeps disappearing, which doesn't help. There we go. Are we getting the iRacing audio? I've got a feeling I've turned it down. Seems very quiet here. Hang on a second here.
Safety car is ducking away.
There we go. Let's try that. All right, it looks good on the stream on my end. They're pacing. They're getting ready to go. Matthew Morhart is your race leader with DJ Alessandrini. He's going to be alongside. What I'm going to do is get the thing up. Mike, take it away, sir.
Sure, absolutely. Looks like they're still pacing according to this, and it is green. Matthew Morhart going down on the inside, and you've got DJ Alessandrini on the outside of turn 1, and he made a bomber move on the outside of turn 1. Looks like Matthew is still running up behind, but this race isn't over yet. You got the two 911s there side by side. Who is going to take it up? That'd be Chad Sanowski and Mark Miller, and it looks like Mark kind of tucked into the back there of Chad, but that is good. It looks like there's a big cluster there in the back, but the leaders are just kind of in line as they normally do. That was like a really clean start. They must have heard me say take it a little easy on the start. A lot of side-by-side action there in the back corner there. I'm trying to remember a lot of these corners of the Grand Prix. I could probably memorize the Nordschleife before I did the Grand Prix. I really just like burned through the Grand Prix on some of these races to get to the Nordschleife, right? But looking really good. You said it. You called DJ Alessandrini was going to put some burners on, and he's right now he's a half a second ahead of Matthew Morhart.
Well, we're going to see how it goes. That is Jordan Musser in the white Z06 Corvette, and you can see there he is trying to make a move on Mark Miller. Looking back through the field, actually, I've just seen Russell Elizondo. He's just dropped back, took a little bit of a detour in the sand, and yeah, it's telling me he may have crashed. Let's see if we can get a quick replay, see what happened there. Oh! Ouch, he loses the front end of that Porsche.
Yeah, that'll do it. There's no engine there, but there are pretty important components as far as cooling and oil cooling, so he'll probably have to get into the pits. Daniel, you mentioned last time we did this, there was a everybody kind of maybe gets a one quick fix when they go into the pits, so is that still the case on this, something they could take an opportunity on?
Sir, yes, sir, and definitely Russell Elizondo, the front of his Porsche is, for lack of better words, cosmetically challenged at this point, but I am seeing Matthew Morhart's just drop back as well. I'm going to see if I can find out why. Here we go. Let's have a quick look at another replay. Oh, he spun out. Just lost traction.
Yeah, it looks like just a little bit of oversteer. It was mid-corner, so I don't know if that would have been lift-off oversteer, power oversteer. I'm sure he was giving it all the sauce to get up there into DJ's position there at first, but well, looks like he's dropped back mid-pack there. Where is he placing now? He would be past 15th, I guess, huh?
Well, he's definitely fallen back through the field. I'm just trying to work out what on earth happened back here. There was some major action that went on. We've seen Matthew Morhart, another demonstration there. But what happened to Jamison Cusworth? You can see the smoke behind. Oh, contact between the two 911s. Oh, and that's what happened. Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
Does not take much. Just that little tap to upset the car mid-corner is a recipe for disaster, especially in a car like the 911 RSR. It is, or the GT3R, very snappy, very oversteery car. And yeah, it took the front clip off the green one there, so that is unfortunate. So Jamison's going to have a lot of work to do to get back up into the mid-pack, and a lot of the guys behind him there were choked up from that as well. So, but DJ, he's got the espresso machine out in the passenger seat. He's having a latte, and he is just hauling away right now. But Chad Sanowski is 0.91 second roughly behind him. So you know, with this type of racing, we got 21 laps of the GP. So if he can keep the heat on him, keep the pressure on, he can make something happen. So just don't mess up, boys.
Well, I am getting Oops, sorry there, Mike. I am getting a report that Kelly Greenhoe has come in the pits as well. I'm not too sure why. And it looks like I've learned a new feature that I didn't want to learn when I switched to a replay. Oh, it says to use the event camera, so I'm just going to keep it on the current camera. That should make it a little bit better for the replays. As Chad Sanowski goes and sets the fastest lap, fourth lap round with a 158.785. Just for reference, DJ Alessandrini, my apologies, is only about a tenth of a second off that. So really not a lot between the two drivers. But to put it into context, if I tell you DJ Alessandrini is just short of 7,000 I rating, we know that we've got a guy who's 5,000 I rating and he's in like the top 5%. I am curious where that would put DJ. Certainly, he's a real life racer as well. I believe he has a Honda Civic race car, like a 9th gen. I just know that the guy can drive, I can tell you that much. But as I look through the field right now, this is one of the closest battles we've got going on between Daniel McKelvey and that is Mark Miller in the Porsche 911 ahead of him. Obviously, you've seen him have a little bit of a tangle earlier, but pretty evenly matched as it stands so far. You know, well, I say that, you know, one of them's 2K, one of them's 37K, so 37K? 3.7K, damn it. So, yeah, we're going to see how that one develops as well. Looking back through the field, I see Corey Mitchell. He's made his way up an absolutely astonishing 11 positions in that Z06, and right now he's got to try and make a move on Kent, the big dog Kruger.
Yeah, let's keep an eye on this here. He's definitely closing the gap. He's, you know, he's one late break away from getting on the inside, but it's a risky move. But yeah, it looks like he's pulling away a little bit. So that would be, is that the Ferrari there or no?
Yeah, that's a Ferrari ahead.
Corey's in the Z06, and then who would be in the Ferrari there again?
That would be Kent Kruger, one of the league admins here at Apex, this iRacing League.
Okay.
I did know. Oh, sorry, Mike. Go on.
Oh, I was just gonna say, it looks like he's keeping the heat on him, but I was just gonna see if he can get a move on the inside, but it's, yeah, I don't know how's the drafting in iRacing. Is it pretty realistic or?
So I would like to say I could give a good comparison on how realistic it is, but nobody's actually handed me the keys to a GT3 car at this point, and I've got no idea why. Anybody who's watched me race maybe has a good reason why, but I just see Chantanowski, I think he set another fastest lap as well. No, maybe not. I don't know if I've got my timing live on that side, but anyway, so the GT...
Going for it here.
Oh, yeah, he's putting those on the inside. Yeah, I'm sorry. Nice Mike, you keep going. You keep going, man. Mike.
I'm watching the race here, man. I'm having a blast. These two guys are going at it. That was a wicked pass there from Corey Mitchell. Just got into the braking zone. I think he had a little bit of a draft on the front straight and managed to get it done in turn one. So now, yeah, I guess the Ferrari has got a little bit of work to do. Now, did Corey overheat his tires trying to do that? I don't know if temperatures are going to be a big deal in iRacing or not. And real road racing, when you're pushing to get past a person, when you get past them, now is the time to keep the heat on, keep them from pressuring you into making a mistake. And it looks like the Ferrari is going to be doing that to Corey. So yeah, Curtis Treiber, that's driving the Ferrari 296 GT3. Interesting.
Yeah, it looks like Brian Zinn just managed to make a crafty little move on him. I'm just seeing a little bit of moves going through the field. Matthew Mordhart, actually, he's one of the who had the lap one near the end of the lap where he had that spin out, and he's already trying to make a recovery on some positions. But I see that Jordan Mustard's just dropped back a couple of spots. Daniel McKelvey and Mark Miller being able to sneak by. Not quite sure what happened there. I will try and get a replay. I may have filtered it out. Let me just get the passes back on here.
Yeah, I'd keep an eye on this right here. So, yeah, with Jordan in 5th place right now, and Adrian Adams is hot on his tail. So this is going to be a battle to look at. It's just hoping the front person makes some kind of mistakes. Keep an eye on them. Looks like we're going back up onto the front straight. Is that correct, Dan? Yeah. So here's where we're gonna have the draft. This is where I think this is where Chad got it done before on the front straight. So, Dan, if you could back up just a couple cars there and keep an eye on that. The white Z06 behind this one. There you go.
There you go. There you go. We can accommodate that for you, sir. And yeah, right behind him is Adrian Adams. Now, we saw him have some success last week as well. I believe he was on the podium, but leave it with me. I will make sure as I'm hitting all the things. I don't know how to turn that off in Windows. I did try separating it to individual tabs, and obviously that didn't work for me. If anybody does know the answer to that, please, by all means, drop me a hint. A little bit technically challenged at times, and sometimes just challenged, but it does look like Jordan Musser has dropped back from Daniel McKelvey. That gap now 0.8 of a second with Adrian Adams right behind him. So we've got two battles going on here, the battle for 3rd and the battle for 5th. Mark Miller and Daniel McKelvey fighting for that final podium spot, while Jordan Musser and Adrian Adams fighting for 5th.
Yeah, this is looking like a good battle. Like I said, just trying to keep the heat on, but it's tough. Where are they going to get it done is the question. Looking ahead, this is some tight racing. This whole little cluster here, 4, is very, very tight. I think a lot of them are probably going to wait until the front straight and try to get that pass done on the inside of 1 after a little bit of a draft. But ahead of them with the Porsche and the Corvette, so we got Jordan Musser in 5th. So it'd be Mark Miller and Daniel McKelvey. That's also a really close race as well.
Well, these guys, they did have success because I believe, you know what, I'm just going to go and check. I have this written down. I don't know why I'm trying to guess here. Yeah, so Daniel McKelvey, Mark Miller, and Corey Mitchell, they were your top 3 for last week. So we can see that the Mark Miller and Daniel McKelvey are already basically on the podium or fighting for it in this case for that 3rd place position. Corey Mitchell, he was starting right from the back of the grid today. I'm not too sure why, but he is already up 12 positions. The only thing I could think of would be if he had a penalty, but generally Corey's pretty clean, as I just see Jameson Cusworth has made it past Tyler Nevins, I believe. But at the minute, again, the hottest battle on track just tends to be this this group. I say that Roman Bykov looks like he's trying to make a move on Austin Sams. Let's have a quick look at that, as there's a little bit of action going on down the front straight, and he's made it by. Not sure what happened to Austin Sams, but Austin Sams actually race 1. He was in the he joined us in the commentary booth for a interview at the end of that.
Looks like a little bit of a tap there. Roman got maybe tapped in the rear from Austin. I'm not really sure. I wonder if you can go back to that replay on the front straight and see what happened, because Roman was on the track left, and Corey was track right on like the front straight. So I wonder if there was a little bit of a there we go. So exiting this. So Roman's right on it. Yeah, so the Ferrari just goes to get out of the draft, and then, and Roman just gets back out of the draft, goes for the pass, and tries to set it up on the outside of 1. And that's a good move. Absolutely. Yeah. I don't know, with Corey going to the right there, I mean, he's kind of defending turn 1 a little bit early, but it looked like Roman had a better run on that front straight anyway, so he got it done.
Yeah, he was definitely trying to go on the defensive, but I'm going to get eyes on Matthew Morthart very quick. He's trying to make the recovery drive of a century at the minute, chasing down Troy Banks. Now, Troy Banks is one of the individuals in Apex S who I have had the fortune of getting to race, and I can say that this guy is quick. Sometimes not the most consistent, but like in terms of outright pace, he is absolutely on it. But as I say that, Matthew Morthart currently 0.4 of a second quicker on best lap, and then on last lap he's gotten beat by about 0.8 of a second. So yeah, definitely my money's on Morthart right now in this 2-car battle. But again, they've got plenty of traffic to go, and not only that, it's a 21 lap race, so there's still quite a lot of ground to be covered.
And it looks like just ahead of them, Neil McDonald and Phillip Adams, they have just gotten close to each other, and this is going to be another one to watch. Man, who do you watch right now? Matthew's in the back, he's getting a draft, and right now that would be Neil McDonald McDougall is going to get the pass on 1. No, he doesn't go for it yet.
I'm actually quite surprised.
Probably safe. I was too, actually. I thought sure he was going to turn in and clamp on the binders a little late getting into 1, but this is good. This is mature. You guys are very mature. This is good to see. This isn't a demolition derby. This is beautiful. It's almost like you guys have to take these cars home and fix them yourself. I like to see that.
I am just getting a report that apparently our voice communications are very quiet, so I am going to try and have a little bit of a tweak here with the audio as I have a look. I'm trying to. I got to try and turn you up. Hang on. Just say something for me there, Mike.
I'll say whatever it is you need me to say. I am watching a fantastic race. I can just be quiet and be zoned into this right now. I'm just watching that Matthew Morthart and Troy Banks battle still going on. And I know you're dealing with some audio stuff, but I'm zoning out on this race now. Matthew is trying to find a place to get around. There we go. And is he? Yeah, where's he gonna go? Looks like they're coming up a few more corners before the front straight. I don't have these corners memorized on the Grand Prix. I was looking at the names of them. Looks like turn 15, and then no, he's riding right behind him. So where's he going to make the move? How's he going to get it done? He keeps trying to. It's a really good tactic. I mean, in actual real road racing, getting your car into their mirrors and showing you on each side is a very good thing there. Yeah, you just went to Daniel McKelvey there. What was going on there?
Yeah, we're going to have a quick look at this replay so you can see there's a little bit of action there. ahead. I don't know why it's gone to Adrian Adams, but McKelvey dropped right back there. I'm not quite sure why. It almost looked like he had a slowdown, but a couple of the guys able to sneak by. Like Jordan Musser got by and Adrian Adams got by, so I'm not too sure what happened there. And you can see him; he's still going quite slow there in the background, really dropping right back. So he must have got hit with a slowdown. Must have done.
Interesting. So they'll give penalties on this to slow down, or is that?
Yeah, if you get a little bit too greedy with the track limits, iRacing is very quick to enforce that. And they make no bones about, giving you a penalty, which you then got to serve. But it looks like he's emerged, okay, thankfully in front of that pack of about 4 or 5 cars ahead of him, 7 cars even. But has it gone and dropped him off the back of Adrian Adams, Jordan Musser, and Mark Miller as well? And potentially he is now off the podium spot.
Click back to that race just behind these two guys, the Corvette. Is side by side with Philip Adams in the wow. They were so Philip Adams in the Corvette was side by side against the Mustang there, which would be Brian Lempt. That was a really good battle there, but they both backed out of it and saved their cars for another battle, which I think we're probably going to see here soon.
Well, it looked like Neil McDougall almost thought about putting it around the outside as well. We had, for a very brief moment, a free wide scenario, but definitely one of the higher risk, low risk maneuvers. You can see Matthew Morthart in the background of that. So you got, as we look there in the Mustang, if I get the right car a second, so you got Brian Lemp in the Mustang. Brian Lemp in the Mustang, Philip Adams, he's there in the Corvette. And then you got the 911 by Neil McDougall. Behind them, you have Ty Johnson in the M4, and then you even have the Z06 as well, Matthew Morthart. So we really do have a good portion of the field there. Sadly, no McLaren represented in this series, and it's a little bit of a disappointing. One of the best sounding cars in iRacing not making an appearance here today at Apex this.
Oh, it's one of the best sounding cars in general. I was fortunate enough to take a 720S around the track last weekend. Just an absolute amazing vehicle. A little oversteery. I think they set those cars up to be a little snappy from the factory, to be honest with you. But it's still an amazing car. Kind of once in a lifetime opportunity to get to be able to thrash one of those things around an actual race course and have some fun with it. But beautiful pieces of machinery. I'm sure if you throw me in a GT3, I'll say the same thing. You put me in a C8, Z06, I'll probably say the same thing. You put me in a new M4. Any of these cars will be an absolute thrasher. But, again, it goes back to how these guys are setting up their cars. We talked to a couple of the drivers at the end of the last race, and they're using some of the, the just normal presets that they're getting from some of the guys, and they work. If you're going in and you're doing your custom settings and stuff, you got to get it right. Every car is different for personal setup. Do you like an oversteery car? Do you like an understeery car? Looked like a little bit of a bump there from Matthew. Don't think, they're, what do they say in Days of Thunder? Is it Rubbin's Racing? Is that what it is?
I'm not sure, but I do know Talladega Nights, and I just want to go fast when it comes to having a car, as it looks like Matthew Morthart there, he's made the move on Ty Johnson. We saw it was coming. It was certainly brewing, but, not quite able to get it done until just now. But, he's just trying to make a recovery drive at this point. He is down 9 positions in comparison to Corey Mitchell, if we look a little bit further back, who's currently on his own. Billy No Mates over there, 15 places up. But we're going to head back to Matthew Morthart and that battle ahead of him. So you've got Matthew Morthart, Neil McDougall, Philip Adams, Brian Lemke. He's kind of, the cork in the bottle at this point. He's dropped about 1.4 seconds back off Daniel McKelvey. McKelvey's dropped off of Adrian Adams as well. So as it stands, the top 3 pretty sat comfy. Well, I say that. Jordan Musser, he's only 0.5 of a second behind Mark Miller, which is that 911 ahead of you. So, he still has a chance. He's still in the draft. I'd say draft-wise, it's maybe about a second, as we see here, Morthart at the back of that pack, just trying to keep like a constant slipstream going. You see Ty Johnson drop back a little bit as he goes, has a little bit of a sniff on the inside, a little bit of a wiggle, and not quite able to get it done, but thankfully no damage, it seems.
Yeah, that was what do you do, right? You're trying to get in there, and that little bit of the tap is kind of part of the game. Hopefully, we don't see any damage to that car, because he has made, like you said, after that spin in the beginning, to be plowing through the field like he is right now. I mean, he's just trying to make up as much time as he can. I mean, right now we're getting on about the halfway point of this race, lap 10 of 21. And Matthew's doing everything he can to get back up the top. I mean, he's sitting in 14th in terms of championship points right now out of a lot of cars. Where am I at here? 47 names on this series so far. So Matthew needs all the points he can get to work his way up to the top. And I think he's doing everything he can right now and just trying to make sure it's clean and he brings it home.
Well, we've got an onboard with him right now. As you can see, one of the guys dipping a little bit of a wheel in the sand, and he is keen, he is motivated. He's only about 0.2 of a second off Neil McDougall ahead of him. McDougall just 0.3 of a second off Adams ahead of him. So, you know, it's a little bit of a train we got going on, and definitely there is opportunities to be had, but you got to remember, low risk, high reward. There is no point absolutely sending it on the inside, and quite different as well. These cars will have very different attributes. I find the 911 is an absolute beast under braking as he's defending the inside line. I'm surprised at such a high-speed corner. He's not giving it away. He is definitely... No, he did. He's lifted. He's let Mordhart go.
Wow. Well, it keeps pressure off of him, too. I mean, Neil may have been just pushing the tires a little bit much, or he had a little wiggle mid-corner and decided to let Matthew go through. You know, if Matthew's going to be the faster car, maybe Matthew, you transferred him a couple bucks and said, hey, can you let me through on this one? I don't know. That's probably not legal. We're fixing the game. But no, it's good to see Matthew up in another position there in 9th. You know, Neil was holding him off there for a while, but we'll see where it can go. So Daniel McKelvey, he is leading the championship right now in first place. He has had one race win. It looks like he's from the Texas club there. So he's going to be doing everything he can to keep this position in first in the championship and work with as many points as he can. Right now, sitting in 6th place is not too shabby, but he is putting the pressure on Adrian Adams right now in the both of them and being in the Z06 GT3R. And we'll see what he's going to do. If he can keep the pressure on, try to get up on the inside. I mean, they are within, you know, thousandths of a second right now. So looks like he's got a good exit out of that corner. Let's see if he can get it done, Dan.
He's definitely going to try, and it is Corvette versus Corvette in this scenario, but I can just see as well, the guys behind him, they're getting a little spicy as well. We've got 3 battles we're trying to keep on, and I can't quite get them all on screen. So you got Mark Miller versus Jordan Musser, that's for 3rd. You go back, you got Adrian Adams versus Daniel McKeldry, that's for 5th. And then if you go back, you've got basically a 5-6 car battle for 7th, with Brian Lemke at the front of that.
And Matthew Mordhart's just got the red mist. Oh, yeah. There we go. So, wow.
That was tight.
Great job keeping it clean, Matthew. I mean, it's still not over yet. He's on the outside, so if he can just stay in the throttle, keep it composed, and work his way around, he's going to have another outside. No, he got it done. No worries on that. Wow. Great stuff.
It did look like McDougall was thinking about having a sniff in there as well. I seen him certainly started to get really keen, but not quite able to go. So McDougall, oh, as I say that, that's Adrian Adams. He's gone off. Oh, dear.
He's dropping way back in the field. Yeah, he's settled in, looks like 12th right now.
That looked like a shunt. Let's see if we can get another view on that. Just give me 1 second here. See a couple of the guys go past him. Let's get a better view of that. No.
Just
Bend
got
it.
into the curb, got a little bit light, and away he went. But he didn't wad it up. So once he got back on track there, he settled in 12th place, which was good. So I'm assuming he's still there once we're out of the replay, and it looks like he is. So, yeah, Matthew Mordhart now up into 7th, and he's got a gnarly little battle now with Brian Lemke. And we'll see what happens, man. I can't believe he's gotten this recovery. This is like this. I mean, this goes down in the history books for me. This is only the 2nd race that I've commentated on, but this is the best comeback I've seen. So.
Oh, don't worry. The more, like, especially as you commentate on a series, the more and more you get into it, the more you start to learn the drivers. And I did say from the start that DJ Alessandrini would be my pick. And as I say that, he's absolutely smashing it out front. 158.6, you know, he's cleaning up. He's really got no one really bothering him. One of the only guys in the Audi as well, which is quite a unique car. But Neil McDougall, he's been hanging back quite a bit. You see him taking quite a little bit of curb there from Philip Adams right ahead of him. But he's not yet been able to get it done. Now, that Porsche, I've always found it does have good pace, but it's all about the late braking. And I just haven't seen it from McDougall. You know, he's driving it very safe, very casually, but he needs to push that car more if he's going to make his way through the field.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know, Neil McDougall right now is sitting in 8th place for the championship points, too. So, I mean, he is looking to acquire as many as he can. Looks like Matthew's going for the move. Matthew's going for the move on Brian Lemke on the inside there, which is going to put him on the outside.
Contact.
Keep it clean, boys. Yes. I'd say that was just a normal racing incident. A little bit of aggressive. Matthew, I mean, that was clean. I don't know if he pinched Brian or not, but no, he got it done. So, and he's moving his way down the back straight with a cluster of 3 cars behind him there with Brian, Philip, and Neil. Wow, that looks like a used car lot right now with all these cars covered in rubber and dirt and dust and banged up. That'd be my kind of used car lot, but probably still couldn't afford it. But.
You and me both. It'd definitely be one where I could look but not touch. And that's a lot like my dating as well. And it's a very similar scenario. But you see here, McDougall finally trying to make a move, but he's going around the outside, so he's going to have to go the long way around. I'll say that. He's now on the inside, and you see the M4 of Ty Johnson right behind him. He's trying to get a sniff as well. Troy Banks hanging back, seeing if there is an opportunity, but Morhart makes it through and is already pulling away from Brian Lemke. As Philip Adams, he's there. He wants that position back from McDougall, but already under pressure from Ty Johnson and Troy Banks.
Yeah, and how many times have you seen that? You know, Troy Banks in the M4, he's just waiting for those 2 guys. I mean, right now, Ty and Philip are battling. They're slowing each other down. Troy is just, you know, like you say, sniffing away, waiting for an opportunity there with the Corvette to try to make a move. And then with Ty and the M4, it could be anybody's game, right? Once you get close, you start making mistakes and slowing each other down. It opens up opportunities for drivers behind.
Well, we are going to have a quick look at another battle, and it's one that's just emerged out the pits. So I believe Curtis Triver has just come out the pits as well, and Mark Bray is already on. And I got to say, you know what? For a Mustang, I think that's the nicest Mustang paint we've got going, and it almost kind of matches the Ferrari as well. So I do wonder if these guys should make a team because, I mean, they've already got like matching underwear at this point. You know, I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think the Mustang is just a good-looking car. They've done a really good design with that, with the rear diffuser and stuff. So, Philip Adams, yeah, he's keeping the pressure again on Neil. Looks like we're coming up on the front straight again. You know, is Neil going to defend on the inside early?
Sorry, I'm chasing cars here. I do see our race leader, DJ Alessandrini. He's just gone in the pits with 14 laps of 21 done. Quite a few guys going in the pits as well. Ty Johnson pit, Adrian Adams, he pit, DJ Alessandrini, his pit, Mark Bray pit, Curtis Schreiber, Russell Elizondo. He's not really had the best race so far, but quite a few of these guys using the pits. As I see there, it looks like Ty Johnson, yeah, he's gone in the pits. Well, just coming out, actually. He was part of that 4-way pack. Troy Banks, he's still out. Philip Adams, Neil McDougall. So I do wonder if these guys are going to shake things up with the pit strategy. You know, there is another thought as well. Maybe Neil McDougall has been actually just sitting behind, saving fuel at this point, hoping to get them on the long run.
Yeah, that would be an interesting tactic to do. I mean, I assume that if they mess around with that, as far as, you know, fuel maps and just not being hard on the throttle, they can make their way through this entire 21 laps without a refuel. You would know better than me, Dan, but if that's the strategy, these guys were playing the long game, and it could work out into their advantage.
Well, I did get a little bit of a comment about audio being a little bit quiet, so I've tried turning you up as well. I would rephrase it. Oh, that's Daniel McKelvey there on the side. He's gone off.
Oh, no.
Let's see what happened here. Oh, full send. Let's go back a little bit more, actually. He looked like he went really wide in there.
This spin was brought to you in part by Caterpillar Bulldozers. Nobody moves sand like a cat. Yeah, he scooped a lot up. They're going to spend the next 3 weeks shoveling that stuff out of the undercarriage of that one.
Oh, that was pretty smooth. But as I say that, Morhart has moved up all the way into 4th place, yet to make a pit. As I do see, I think that was Mark Miller. Yeah, Mark Miller's just gone in the pits. That was a 911 at the side of your screen, left side. So interesting how things have gone up. That puts Chad Sanowski, he'd gone in the pits as well. So Morhart is actually leading the race at this point, but for how long? That pit strategy really shaking things up. As I see here, Neil McDougall's pit, so is Brian Lemke. Jordan Musser's in the pit as well. Mark Miller's in the pit. There's a lot of people in the pit. Let's see where DJ Alessandrini he's going to come out. He is ahead of quite a few people, and that is Daniel McKelvey right behind him. But McKelvey yet to pit this scenario.
Yeah, interesting. Matthew, when he had that spin in the beginning, he didn't have any damage, so I believe he didn't pit at that point, and it was too early in the race to make any kind of advantage with fuel anyway. So, but Brian Lemp there in 11th with Neil McDonald or McDougall in the front. This is looking to shape up to a decent battle here with these guys. Both of them taking their pit stops, if that's correct, Dan.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so this is just going to be a race to the end. So we've got about 6 laps remaining. We'll see who can get it done. I wonder when Matthew's going to pit and how far that's going to put him back. Because where was he at? He was sitting in, I believe, seventh or sixth at that point. He had made his battle all the way up through into the top 10. I know for sure. So once he jumps into the pits, we'll see how far he drops back. But DJ has got a little bit of a work to do. I don't know if it shows if Troy or Philip have pitted. I would say probably not. DJ is about 6 seconds off of those guys. So I would imagine if they're playing the long game, great. If they can hold it together. Doesn't look like DJ Alessandrini is really closing the gap too much with them. So if they go into the pits, then he's going to be pushing it up to the front again. And you can see better than me, but I imagine he's probably still holding that fastest lap right now.
Well, I've just managed to change the scoring board on the left. So your top 3, they have not yet pitted. DJ Alessandrini, what was that? Oh my gosh, he's pitted. All right, son.
That or not?
Chachinowski, he's pitting all. And then if you have a look back, Ken Kruger, he ain't pitted, but Jordan must. I can't keep doing that and keep a straight face. But you can see the pit stops there on the left. So the majority of people have pit. DJ Alessandrini, he's going to regain his pit stop there. As you can see, there are quite a few guys in the pits. The timing and scoring board looking like an absolute cluster right now because we've got it set on interval, and you can just see there Alessandrini absolutely pulling away. But let's get back to the gap, and let's get back on the racing action. Let's see, what battles do we have going on right now? Oh my gosh, the timing screen is a cluster. Would you look at that?
Yeah, this is like a cluster of cars there into turn 1. You've got guys coming out of pits with cold tires. You've got guys that have just completed the first lap. Everyone's just going to try to settle in and not cheese grate all the carbon fiber into the turn 1 wall. And looks like they've all kept it pretty clean. I have no idea who's on new or fresh or old tires right now, but it's just going to be interesting.
That one I can help with. So because it's only like a 21-lap race, you're probably nearly likely going to try it. As I see there, is that Philip Adams? He's trying to make a move on the inside of Brian Lemke. But for tyres, you are going to keep the same set in a race as short as this. Certainly, if you start going for an hour plus, 2-hour race, you'd start switching out tyres. But a 40-minute, 50-minute race, you're going to keep them going. As I see here, it is worked out very well for McDougall, but not so well for Mark Miller. He was up on the podium before, and he's dropped right back, currently down four positions overall. As I look ahead, let me just see if there's anybody who hasn't pit. I'm just going to do that with the timing and scoring board. I think that's going to be the easier way of doing it. So let's have a quick look at that again. Yeah, it looks like everybody has pit in the top, certainly 15. So we can rule out pit strategy for the minute and focus more on the racing. So actually, let's put it on the interval right now. We'll be able to see a little bit of who's closer, who's not, especially while we got such good battle action going on as we join in the action with Mark Miller there, Troy Banks right behind him, and then Ty Johnson at the back of that. But Daniel McKelvey, he's really dropped back. He's now down in 12th place. But another one to keep an eye on, Kent Kruger did make it past Corey Mitchell earlier, even though Corey had got him earlier. So I wonder if Corey is going to be able to get him back, perhaps a little bit of an incident earlier. Very quickly as well, Christopher Gargano, he's going to try and have a look at that. Actually, rather beautiful Ferrari of Tyler Nevins. Obviously, we've seen a little bit of action from Nevins, and I think Russell Elizondo must have been in the pits there as well. But realistically, the biggest battle going on track right now is it's not 2, it's not 3, it's not 5, ladies and gentlemen. It's about a 6-car battle between, as I read, 5th and 10th position right now.
Yeah, this is going to be insane to watch. I mean, Neil's got it kind of secured there in 5th, while Brian and Philip are going to be battling. I think they're a little bit closer. Brian's about 0.4. They're all 0.4 off of each other. It'll go 0.4, 0.3, 0.4, 0.3. So it's just going to be who can not make a little mistake, because any little breath, any little correction is going to change the way that this is going to shape up. So we're in car now with Ty Johnson there in the M4. We got to give him props on the M4. I'm a Beamer guy.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, sorry for your loss. Hey, no, they've been treating me well. Actually, the BMWs I have are the only car that haven't left me stranded on the side of the road. Now, have they absolutely broken my wallet a few times? Yeah, but that's part of the ownership. So.
Well, I say that I'm generally a guy who's managed to avoid a tow truck, but if things don't go well for these guys, a tow truck may ensue. As Matthew Morhart, he is trying to do the recovery drive of a century. He started in first. He's currently in 4th position, and he is hot, chasing Jordan Musser, trying to get back that 3rd position. He's less than 0.2 of a second behind him. Definitely not going to be one of the easier corners to get things done, but you can see there the Corvette taking a lot of curve, a little bit of a bounce, a little bit of a wiggle on corner exits. They're going to come up to a long right-hander before going onto the front straight, and you see there Jordan Musser going a little bit wide, that Corvette bouncing a little bit, and Mordhard absolutely reeling in the draft. Is he going to get a chance going into turn 1?
Yeah, we'll see what he can do. Is he going to turn in and try to outbrake him into turn 1? No, he doesn't. Actually, it looked like Jordan actually kind of outbroke him there on the entry. Yeah, Matthew, I mean, this is, you know, again, the comeback of the century, and he is doing everything he can to work his way up, and he is hot on his tail. Right now, we got a 0.2 gap. You could not even put a credit card in between those 2 bumpers right now. They are absolutely, you know, just pushing each other around. But no contact, keeping it clean, boys. I like it. This is an incredible race with these guys.
Well, for everything else, there is MasterCard, and these guys are definitely going for it. As you see there, Mordhard hard on the brakes, almost into the rear end of Musser. He nearly got a free reticle exam, but thankfully able to avoid it. You know, that was a full-on hot tour experience, and he nearly did replaster that Corvette. I couldn't resist. I'm sorry, we have to try and get one in there.
You did good. I'm gonna buy you a beer after that, Daniel. That was really nice. I don't even have anything to say after that. I just watched the front of this Corvette and try not to think of that. Oh, that's absolutely hilarious. But you do make a good point. Oh, and I wonder what happened. Matthew backed off there really hard. I wonder if he had a track limits penalty because he slowed right down just after that corner. And
actually,
that's,
let's see if we can get a replay of that, because that really was an aggressive slowdown. I do apologize for it being a little sketch. Let's have a quick look. I'm going to change the camera angle as well. We're going to go onto the cockpit view, see if we can get a good view here. So let's see what's going on. Like, I can't imagine that would be it, but he lifted right away. He must have got nailed for track limits. That's the only thing I can think of.
Well, that's unfortunate. I mean, knowing what Matthew has done for most of this race, I'm assuming that he's going to hopefully bring it back up. 2.7 seconds with 3 to go. That's going to be a little bit tough. So
there is one other scenario, Mike, and I do wonder if he's just suddenly gone, oh crap, I don't have enough fuel. Here we go.
Yeah, Daniel McKelvey coming up behind Adrian Adams, and he's getting to the inside, and it looks like he's going to get it done down into turn 1 there.
Now, shuts the door on him.
Yeah, well, you got to use all the track. You got to exit the corner at some point. And, you know, if they're not alongside of you, then, you know, just keep turning the wheel, and hopefully they'll back out of it. This is shaping up to be a really good race, and this is a lot of Corvettes in this. It seems to be a very popular chassis, and I'm seeing why. I mean, a lot of the top runners. I mean, besides DJ, they're running these vets. Matthew Mordhart with that comeback in the Corvette, and some of the best battles we've seen. So shout out to Chevrolet. I'm from the land of Chevy, northern Kentucky, Cincinnati area. I've been to the Corvette Museum. I've saw the sinkhole. They did not have any of these C8s in that sinkhole.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness. They're all here on track.
Put a few C5s in there. I'm sure we could get rid of a few of those.
Well, I think the millionth Corvette was a C5. So they were recovering that or something. I was looking at it. I'm like, man, why would you guys do that to a C5? Just leave it down there. But no, it's a good looking car if you can do it upright. One of my favorite Corvettes, actually, the C5 Grand Sport. I think it was probably the early Gran Turismo days that kind of got me hooked on that. But
blue and white one, right?
Corvettes. Yeah, blue with the white stripe down the center. Love that design. I love the color, and that kind of makes up for the. I guess that's the C4. Sorry, that would be the C4 design.
I got the wrong Corvette to kill.
Yeah, but I knew what you were talking about. So the C5 is actually a great generation, and the C8, what they've done with this, obviously to make such a great race car they have, and to give us this type of racing side by side. Corey Mitchell, it looks like he's going to be going on the outside of this next corner, and if. Where are we at? If Kent Kruger can't,
Well,
Wow.
Kent did say that he has been struggling for pace a little bit recently, but for lack of better words, that Ferrari has a really wide rear end. I mean, like he is giving us the full-on Shakira experience, and then hips don't lie. Corey Mitchell certainly throwing a couple of dollar bills on the rear end of Kent Kruger at this point, just trying to get by. We know Corey's got pace, but Kent doing an absolutely fantastic job doing the defensive drive. And currently the closest battle on track, well, one of them, we've got a couple going there. Ty Johnson looks like he's going to have a crack at Troy Banks with Mark Miller. It must have been something in the pits. Perhaps he took a bit too much fuel. He's ended up dropping back. He was in the run for the podium. This 911 of Mark Miller just here. Beautiful looking car, actually. But he's really dropped back. He's now in 8th position, trying to hold off Troy Banks in 9th and then Ty Johnson in 10th as well.
Yeah, he's got the Corvette breathing down his neck. Well, with Ty and Brian Limp there, and looks like Ty is trying to get it done on the inside of the Mustang. Is he gonna let it stick? Ooh, man, this is close. No, and Brian is just kind of working his way back out to the outside, setting up for the apex, and he holds it off. Great driving there, Brian.
It was definitely a good display of clean driving, and we're getting to see a lot of that tonight so far as we're currently on board with him. And definitely, he can see nothing but opportunity ahead, but he has not been able to seal the deal at this point. Now, the BMW, usually one of the more popular cars, but the Corvette very recently came out in iRacing to a lot of positive feedback. The Mustang definitely a little bit more of a mixed bag. Some guys love it, other guys hate it. Myself, I tried to run it in the 6-hour Watkins, and I just found it span out. As I see there, Troy Banks making a slight error, and that has opened the door for Brian Lemke. He's able to get alongside in the Mustang. You know what? We're going to stay on board with Ty Johnson. He's got a better view of this battle, and potentially he's going to snake Troy Banks as well. He's going to be in the draft. Can he get it done? He needs to stay in that draft a bit longer, but currently the Mustang of... who's driving the Mustang? Brian Lemke giving him a little bit of extra boost. Troy Banks kind of really late on the brakes there.
Oh,
and that's the end of the race. Oh,
that was
damn
the
it.
end of the race.
We're having so much fun.
It's like either there's a massive pileup,
yeah,
or that's the end of the race. We got two sidetrack with such an amazing battle there down on the last straight with Brian Lempt and Troy Banks. What a race, guys! What a race from everybody. Some really close racing. Congrats there to DJ Alessandrini for just running away with the pack. And Chad Sanowski looks like in 2nd place, and Jordan in 3rd. We're gonna do a replay there.
Yeah, I'm just gonna try and get a little bit of footage of DJ there. I'm trying to. I don't think it's quite worked out. It was a nice idea.
It's kind of what happens when you pull a Max Verstappen and you just leave the field and you're not entertaining. You're just too good of a driver. No, your sponsors don't get any highlights. But speaking of sponsors, Apex Sim Racing for an immersive racing gear. They carry Cube Controls, Momo, Monza, Racing, Cinematic, all kinds of great sim racing brands. Full speed sim coaching. Your personal coach will make you a better sim racer. And Blake's mission is for you to get a better understanding of sim racing fundamentals, and that's full speed sim coaching there. Get Good Racing with one-on-one coaching and self-directed course. Get Good Racing has what you need to improve your iRacing skills. And Race Smarter with DRE, and that is Digital Race Engineer. It's a premium spotter and crew chief and many additional benefits.
Well, we are going to have a quick look through the results as well. I do apologize. I have tried to fix this. I don't think I've quite got the right button yet, so I do apologize for the lack of gaps. It's fair to say that pit was a popular option as we look at this. So your race winner was DJ Alessandrini with Chad Sanowski there in 2nd. Jordan Musser was able to hold on a 3rd with Matthew Morhard trying to make the recovery drive of the season. He managed to finish 4th with Neil McDougall, managing to just squeeze into 5th. Philip Adams in 6th. Mark Miller, he was there in 7th with Brian Lemke, Troy Banks, and Ty Johnson closing out your top 10. As we have a look from 11 onwards with Daniel McKelvey, he's there in a 06, having a little bit of that incident earlier. That car basically, it was like riding a rodeo bull for a little bit of a second there, and he was not able to hold on, dropping back through the field. Adrian Adams in 12th with Kent Kruger doing a little bit of defensive driving there against Corey Mitchell for 13th and 14th. Raymond Bykoff and No Guerrero, they were there in 15th and 16th with Brian Zinn, Chris Schreiber, Tyler Nevins, and Christopher Gargano. As we have a look at the closing section, Mike, take it away.
Yeah, Mark Bray in 21st and 22nd, Curtis Treiber, Bryson Lee, 24th, Jamison Cusworth, 25th, Austin Sams, 26th, Ruthan Elizondo, 27th, Tyler Reeb, and 28th, Kelly Greeno, 29th, Daniel Williams, and then 30th, Frank Klein.
Well, it was definitely... Yep, it was definitely a fun and interesting race. But let's have a quick peek to see if anybody is up for an interview. I've lost my mouse again, ladies and gentlemen, which does make things a little bit more challenging. Let's have a quick look here. I can see Kent Kruger looks like he wants to come in here. Let's see if we can grab Kent. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the Apex This admins, Mr. Kent Kruger, tell us a little bit about your race. We see you and Corey Mitchell are having a absolutely fantastic battle earlier on. And Kent Kruger has decided to employ the right of silence. You can see there. There we go. He's back.
I hear what you're saying.
So tell us a little bit about that battle you had with Corey Mitchell. We've seen him, he managed to get the better of you earlier. Then I don't know quite what happened to Corey. You were able to get it back and then hold on. Tell us a little bit about what was happening for you. Nope, I got nothing. Kent, I guess Kent.
I don't think he can hear us. What's his accent? I can pretend to be him, and then we can interview each other. Yeah, it looks like we were having some audio issues on this one, so I hope maybe the live stream comes back and we can make it happen. But Daniel, thanks a lot for having me here, man. This has been an absolute blast again commentating with you. You are absolutely hilarious, and I had more fun listening to you make these jokes and get your digs in than anything. But it was great racing by all, and it was really fun to watch. So great racing, guys, and hope to be back again sometime.
Well, we are going to try and see if we can get Kent, but he's just disappeared again. I'm trying to slow this down. I mean, we've got some great footage here of Kent having a battle with Corey Mitchell. I'm trying to slow it down. I've got too many buttons, and you know what happens. There we go. A little bit of action there with Kent Kruger, but yeah, he's currently disappeared again. Everything looked all right on this end, so I think, well, yeah, let's get ready to close out. We'll just get flicked over to the cameras in just a second here. Let me find the right button here. Oh dear, here we go. All right, we are live on camera. Mr. Mike Reese, he also models on OnlyFans. He's a little bit shy about that, but that's okay. Check it out, Reese Racing, ladies and gentlemen. Reese Racing. But what an absolutely fantastic race. You know, we saw lots of clean action. You know, definitely a little bit unfortunate for Mort Hart. I would have liked to have seen him do a little bit better. DJ Alessandrini absolutely running away with it. Like, I've seen him in a series where I've raced, and he understandably cleaned up. You know, the guy can drive. But what fantastic battles. Mike, tell us, what were some of your favorite moments of this week here at the Nürburgring?
Well, I think just the close battles with the two Corvettes, and watching Matthew Morthart have that spin early on in the race, and then work his way back up from what, like 15th or 14th, and then back up into like almost the top 5 at one point before it looks like either he ran out of fuel or he had a track limits issue that had him forced to back off. But that was probably my favorite thing to see, just him working his way up through the field. And then, yeah, I mean, DJ, you called it. Like, I mean, Dan, like when you said DJ was going to be fast, he was fast. He absolutely ran away from the pack. So I always like seeing that, and I always like hearing your funny jokes, Dan. That's really why I'm here. It's just to listen to you commentate on this stuff live. You're an absolute wizard, man, and like I said, it's been an absolute pleasure to be here and spectate with you for this iRacing GT3 series at the Nürburgring.
Well, I've got to say as well, Mike, it's only his second time here in the broadcast booth, but I think he is a little bit of a natural, making sure we get them sponsors in as well. I did gear something up. I forgot to put it on, but basically it should be a little rolling graphic. I'm going to try and have that cleaned up a little bit for next time. It needs a little bit of testing, but certainly directing, not usually my forte. It's been definitely a hard learning curve, and I still have very much to learn. But you know what? It's been an absolutely smashing week. Mike, thank you very much for joining us here in the booth as well. It's been a pleasure. Apex This. Fantastic series. If you want to get involved with GT3 cars on a Sunday night, a very large field, and then not only that, these guys have sponsors, they have prizes. I've seen some of the trophies these guys do as well. It's certainly nothing I'd be ashamed of hanging on my mantle, certainly for sure. Better than some of the other stuff I've hung up on there. But ladies and gentlemen, I've been Daniel Zippy Sound, and joining me has been Mike Reese, and thank you very much for tuning in to Apex This here live on Pit Road Productions.